Welcome back to another episode of Britt and Nick Do the News. We were off for a week, both visiting two separate beaches. Brittany, you were in Cape Hatteras, correct?
It's true. Yes, girl. Celebrating a 1 year anniversary there.
Congratulations.
Thanks, babe. It was a lot of fun.
What,
Super pretty.
what did you get into?
Hung out at the beach a lot. We went to a few restaurants, definitely grabbed some ice cream. But yeah, just mainly hung out at the beach. Went to a few different ones. And we also went to this nifty little spot. It's like a gas station mixed with like miniature porn shop. And it's called Biscuits and Porn. And it's in Nags Head. And it's got great food. You should check it out if you're ever in the area.
I certainly would. I was a little further south in Clearwater Beach, Florida. It was nice. The water was clear, but it was super hot, very muggy. And so being by some water was very necessary. Speaking about hot, it looks like there's some type of heat dome over New Mexico, Texas, and California. How about you tell us a little more about that, Brittany?
Yeah, it's bad out there. They got a heat dome, which apparently is a large area of high pressure that's kind of sits over top and it traps air and heats the entire like force field with sun. So it's just trapped heat in essence. They say it's going to be real hot out there. Temperatures in the triple digits. It's going to be about anywhere between 20 to 25 degrees hotter than traditional. So very, very warm. And yeah, it's going to be in California and out in the West. So we'll be safe over here, but it'll still be pretty warm on our side. Just nothing like what they're getting out there.
Thank goodness. I don't think I could take the heat, even though I am looking a little red today. I think that might be the tan from that Florida sun. Let's move from the heat to the wind. Another thing Mother Nature likes to do. A tornado blew through my neck of the woods, which that's not normal. It happened down in Poolsville, and it was the most significant tornado in the area. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, girl. And all our old stomping grounds, Gaithersburg, Alney, where I was born at, Poolsville. They also said there was one in Arbutus in Baltimore County, as well as outside the airport in Carroll County in Westminster. So apparently Maryland was getting a lot of action. Apparently same in DC. It's just very unheard of, especially for that area. They said it's the most significant in what, like several years? It's just very rare.
I thought it was an ever, but yes, I don't think there was any casualties. I did hear one person did get hurt, and I'm sure there was some damage, but nothing too horrendous. Because again, this isn't, the Midwest where they get really hit with the tornadoes. So we were lucky to escape anything major. Well, the winds were blowing in Maryland, but they're also blowing pretty hard over in North Korea, where they have been loading up bags of trash and poop and having them float over the border to South Korea. 3,500 balloons with 15 tons of this poop and trash.
That's disgusting. Yeah, garbage and feces just hanging out and then popping flood in your area. That's very foul. I would definitely try to hit them up and see what the deal is. Like, why are you sending these over here? What's the deal?
Well, their reasoning being is that they're tired of the South Korean pamphlets that are a little anti-North Korea. But I'm like, are these pamphlets even necessary, or are they even real? I think they just wanted an excuse to trash the South. And the South is not putting up with it. They're literally like, yeah, we were going to be cool. We were going to like back off some sanctions, maybe like, mend some problems with you guys. But they're like, no, we takes it back. You guys blew it. And yeah, they aren't having it.
Done deal. Once you put some dookie roll in the air, all bets are off.
Speaking of the release of bodily fluids, promising clinical trials for a male birth control, a 15 milliliter hormonal gel have been conducted. This gel is supposed to be put on once daily between both shoulder blades. And I guess it's a synthetic progesterone that suppresses the male testosterone hormone from maintaining its levels to actually produce the sperm. So it's been very promising, but again, the trials are going on until the end of the year, and then they have to inspect collect, the data before they actually give the FDA stamp of approval, and then it's on the shelves for these males. What are your thoughts about the male birth control, Brittany?
Girl, I think it's awesome. About freaking time, to be honest. And a little bit of gel that you got to rub in. That seems so much easier and less invasive than a lot of the other things and the techniques that we have to utilize as females. If you're in that stage where you're trying to prevent pregnancy. So I think it's a great step. Sounds very basic. And if the results work without any long-term bad effects, I mean, let's go for it. Yeah, I got you. Get a little massage going. Let's go.
Oh, I'm all for it as well. I feel women have had to take on the responsibility for their whole lives.
Yeah.
So for the males to actually, step up and apply a gel, I think that's the route to go. I personally can't even handle an oral contraceptive. I turn into a bloody nutcase. So if somebody else can take that burden off me, I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's great that they're doing lots of research, getting a lot of options for people, be it contraception or what have you. It's developments are great, but sometimes developments can't be that great. Access to the internet, sometimes we take it for granted, and other times we shouldn't be maybe on it so often, which, how you say it? The Marabu tribe?
It's Marubo tribe. It's an Amazonian tribe, and they were recently granted access to the internet via Starlink. And they've noticed that, the internet is not such a good thing after all. It looks like the youth were getting into sending pornographic material, getting kind of locked into social media, and becoming lazy. So the officials of the tribe were like, maybe we should scale it back. Maybe, becoming more of the man isn't the place we need to be. And maybe we should go back to our roots. We are an Amazonian tribe, for crying out loud. We don't necessarily need the internet.
Yeah, that's definitely the truth. I mean, I don't really think they have many dealings with the outside world. So why have them now? Basically don't even do trading and such. Like, why would they need to find out where the close place to buy a package of ice cream or something? Why would you need to know that? You don't need to know any of this information. But of course, people are going to get involved in the dark web, social media, porno sites. Yeah, it's going to go down. That's where it went down anytime anyone else has had access to internet. I mean, it's great. Got lots of information. You can find stuff quickly. Back in our day when we had to do research on topics, we'd use the Encyclopedia Britannica, get up in the library and stuff. Now you just get on your little phone.
Well, that's what they were hoping for. I think they wanted to help educate the Amazonian tribe. But of course, if you're a young adolescent male and you have not seen some of the images that we have seen on Pornhub, then of course they're going to be totally fascinated, obsessed. I can only imagine. So yes, good luck to them. And I hope that they can, use it for good, not for bad.
Internet can be good. It can be bad. But either way, it could be very illuminating. Apparently, Israel has come recently under fire because CNN did almost like a live model, like a reconstruction, if you will, recreation of what some of their encampments look like over there. Apparently, it's very, very sad and sick. They got some people strapped down to beds. They're chained down. They're wearing diapers. It's not looking good. So CNN kind of exposed them to a certain degree because, once again, they didn't have actual photos. It was a reconstruction, but people were up in arms. And Israel is now decreasing the size of these camps. They're trying to kind of disperse them and hopefully get rid of them altogether. I don't know exactly how they are going to proceed, but yeah, that's one example of the internet kind of crossing you out and letting people know the facts.
Yeah, Israel is still a hot topic, of course, for the news. Biden was calling for another ceasefire at the beginning of the week towards Hamas. And throughout the week, I mean, it's kind of been questioned whether the prime minister is kind of extending this whole war because of his political campaign. Maybe things might fall better in the line if he drags it out, or whatever the political agenda is. It's not looking good, and it's never been looking good.
It has been looking bad. And you know what else is bad? Apparently, Russia has released some prisoners of war, as has Ukraine. They've done an exchange of prisoners. Well, the Ukrainian prisoners were returned in fine condition. The prisoners that were held in Russia were in very scary conditions. They were emaciated. They were compared to concentration camp victims. Just really horrifying stuff. And once again, of course, the internet illuminating good stuff, bad stuff, and very, very, very scary stuff. Apparently, there was this guy. His name is Roman Gorlick. He was only a security guard at Chernobyl. He was not even involved in the military on either side at all. So that's another kind of Geneva Convention violation. It's really scary stuff. He looked starved to death, and people are taking note. Once again, citizens are concerned, and they're up in arms about all these conditions for all these people around the globe. And it's good. This is where the internet is working, and to get knowledge is power, not just Pornhub. This is power, babe.
Just spreading the word.
Spreading the word.
Online. He has some other facts around that area. Ukraine is using U.S. weaponry now in Russia. So that was a highlight of the week. As well as Russia shooting, I don't know if it's a rocket, a missile, a spaceship. They won't even tell us, but they're shooting something up, and some believe that it might be some anti-satellite missile into the sky. So hopefully it's not, but we may never know. Russia is always on its own thing.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, people need to stop putting crap in the sky, be it poop balloons, weather balloons, who knows? Just leave the sky alone. The atmosphere is doing its thing. Obviously, it's aggressed. It's giving us heat domes, tornadoes in places that they aren't traditionally. Like, we don't run anything. Mother Nature runs everything. So y'all quit playing with the atmosphere. Let her be. And try to be nice to one another. We gonna hope for it.
Let's bring it back to the States for the trial of the week. President Biden's son, Hunter. What's he going to court for this time, Brittany?
Girl, apparently it's federal gun trial because he was lying on documents. Whenever you're obtaining a gun, any sort of firearms, you have to go through a series of questions, in essence. They're finding out your background as much as they do. And he lied whenever it came to the portion where it says, do you do drugs? He said no. And, well, y'all, he was doing drugs, which everyone, of course, later found out, that pesky old internet. But yeah, he's had a lot of dealings, and a lot of chicks are kind of turning on him and telling him all about his narcotics use. Few of them gals being, of course, his one ex-wife. Her name's Kathleen Buell, and she is letting people know that she would find crack pipes around their DC home. So, oopsies. There's another lady. She is not mentioned as far as named. She is just only romantically linked to him, 2017 through 2018. Another gal in the mix. Apparently, he also had dealings with Hallie Biden. Hallie Biden is his late brother, Beau's wife. Kind of be tearing it up when it comes to smoking drugs and copious amounts of ladies.
Yeah, one of his girlfriends was on trial, and I guess she said that he would wake up smoking a crack pipe, like his morning coffee. So yeah, he goes hard, and he wants to wake up real quick.
Golly. What about NoDoz? Jet Alert? Can we get back in that? I don't know.
I'm trying to switch to mushroom coffee, y'all. So
right?
I'm not on that trade at all. I'm hoping to get off the stimulants and not full force with a meth or crack pipe in my mouth.
We're looking for some hardcore harm reduction here, okay?
Dr. Pepper has worked its way up since our last podcast. So I'm not saying we had something to do with it, but we might have had something to do with it. Yes, number 2 behind Coke, beating out Pepsi. So that's a little shocking, but I'm not too shocked because I think with its many flavors, 26, I think to be exact, it's definitely the better choice over Pepsi, at least.
I don't know. I love them all. I wish I could claim a favorite. And if I had to, like back against the wall, I would say Tahitian Treat, but the amount of sugar in that is like you have to only have like one every like Hoarder. Like, swear. It's so bad. But if I had to claim a favorite, it would be that one. How about you?
I mean, I'm going to be like that incredible duo back in the day, Keenan and Kel. And you know who else loves orange soda? Nicole loves orange soda.
You better say that stuff, girl. I like grape better, but orange is rocking.
You mean the purple drink? But I don't think the purple drink means grape soda anymore. I think it means promethazine and codeine in a Sprite bottle. The rappers told us all about that.
That's true. Once upon a 2002.
Oh, that was good. So yes, we did the Dr. Pepper pickle craze trend, whatever you want to call it, and it was absolute trash. We do not recommend it. That was on last week's episode, and also during last week's episode, we brought up nostalgic movie moments, and we chose Blank Check for this one. And let's break it down, Brittany. The story is about a child named Preston, who is the youngest out of 3 and is literally treated like trash. I mean, he might as well be the redheaded stepchild. Like, he is not favored at all. And they literally move his brother's business into his bedroom, which, you know, throughout the whole movie, the boys were never doing any business and they were never in his room. It was literally like all this crap was just taking up most of Preston's space, and it's not fair. The story really opens when he gets a blank check in the mail from his grandmother for his birthday, finally getting some cash because, you know, his brother stole his piggy bank and his parents did nothing about it. Of course.
Boo.
Yes. So blank check, his dad rips it out of his hands, always taking things for himself, and then writes in $11. Can't give him 10. He had to give him 11 because of inflation. Cool. So he takes this check to the bank to try to open his own bank account because his brothers take his stuff, so they can't go to the bank and take it. So he wants to open up something to keep his funds safe. And the woman, who is played by Shay, she tells him, hey, you need $200. You can't open a bank account, but come back when you get that. And he falls in love with her. Like, she could have said anything, you know. He denied him really like a bank account, and he is all in on her. So she is the love interest of the whole movie, even though he is way younger and she is way older. We'll leave that there. He leaves, and on his way out of the bank, he gets hit by a car, not him, but his bicycle. And that's the person who ends up being the villain of the movie, Mr. Quigley. He escaped, I think, out of jail and stole money from some other criminals and deposited it in that bank earlier that day. He tries to get Preston off his back by writing him a check, sees the cops coming because I think he's a fugitive. So he leaves it blank. And that's when Preston gets the idea, like, I'm going to become rich. Tries his luck at typing in $1 million on this check, goes back to the bank and gets a different teller, not the good looking Shay that he wanted, but some old woman who grabs him by the ear pretty much and takes him to Mr. Bitterman. And Mr. Bitterman is pretty much the money launderer for Mr. Quigley, the criminal. And he happened to be expecting Mr. Juice that day. So he thinks this 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid is Juice, a criminal gangster. Like, come on, he's 12 and he's stuttering, like he's scared, and you're going to give him $1 million in his backpack. No big deal. Come on. So the kid gets rich because this all goes down. And the first move he makes, he buys a house out from Mr. Quigley's nose, like outbids him on this house for $300K. But honestly, this house looks like it could be $3 million. He buys a house that looks like a castle. He buys water slides, race car driving course. He buys everything under the sun, and then wants to have a big freaking party. He even has a limo driver take him everywhere and become his best friend. That's most of the movie. And then you get to the big party scene where Preston realizes that he's not so happy with all this money. And in fact, he's actually burned all the money to the ground. There's no more money left. He spent it all, and all in 6 days, mind you. So the criminals finally catch him because they've been chasing him this whole movie pretty much. And I forgot to mention that, you know, his alias was Mr. Macintosh. And during this whole time, Shay, who was originally looking for Quigley, is now looking for freaking Mr. Macintosh after only 6 days. I don't know. It seems kind of weird to me. But they pull up the FBI at the end of the movie. Freaking Preston's devastated that his girlfriend is FBI and not really into him. But yes, Mr. Quigley claims to be Mr. Macintosh, thinks it might be cool to actually have all this stuff float under his name now it's been spent by his name. And they're like, oh, Mr. Macintosh, well, you're under arrest for money laundering and all this other crap. I don't know how that happened in 6 days. They take him out. And then, yeah, we started where, the movie started, where he has no money. He has to go back home. And, Brittany, like, what's the point of this? Like, what message were we really supposed to get after all of this?
Hey, Nick, I would say that's probably money isn't everything. And don't try to grow up too quick. Enjoy your youth. Enjoy, the phases that come. Should have been a lesson to his parents, like treat your children equally so one doesn't feel so neglected. As soon as they get a little bit of guap, they turn it into a lot and end up with nothing.
Yeah, I'd say exactly that money is not everything. Preston was really kind of sad at the end when, he had everything and he was still alone and didn't really have what he really wanted. And then a little side message, like his dad at the end of the movie came in and kind of was like talking to Mr. McIntosh about how like he should have treated his son better and that took things for granted. And he was just hard on him because he saw himself in him and wanted, and I'm like, cut the crap, Dad. I'm glad you finally came to your senses, but treat all your kids equally, treat them good so that they don't get these crazy ideas in their head. Because honestly, this would have never happened if he would have been treated like he was like his other brothers were treated. Like, get real. So yeah, that was a side message. Money's not everything. And yeah, treat your kids well so they stay home.
100%. Also, another little side message. I believe he's supposed to be like 11 or 12 in this movie. And Shay, of course, is probably early to mid 30s. So she can't get with him. But she says, yeah, we can't be together, but maybe you could try to holler at me in 10 years. Okay, boo. That would put him at like 21, which over 18 for sure, but was not intended, but totally peaked a moment of grooming vibes there. So interesting to see later on. Like, obviously, she said the 10 years. She didn't put a decade in there for no reason, but it was still kind of viewing it as a 36-year-old female. I was kind of like, oh, okay. Kind of gave me a little bit of the ick. But I wish I had a blank check. So
I mean, come on, Brittany. She was just trying to let him down lightly. I don't think she was really trying to get him in with her 10 years later. Like, come on. What is she going to be looking like in 10 years? Like, come on. I mean, she did look pretty hot. So probably still pretty hot.
Yeah, probably still pretty smoking, to be honest. But yeah.
Yeah, she was out running, I think, one part of the movie, and Preston pulls up because, I mean, this is a movie. They just happen to cross paths and, yeah, jogging and whatnot. And she was telling the driver she's out of shape. And I'm like, girl, you look good. If that's out of shape, whoa, what am I?
You gotta remember how the movies used to be back in the 90s, the 80s and 90s. They put everything, diet culture was really high. Everything was super skinny, trying to be like as fit as possible, jazzercise, Kathy Ireland with the workout
Jane
videos.
Fonda.
All of it.
Yep.
All of it.
No, I get it. So that probably had to sneak its way into the movie.
It did. Couldn't be a true 90s movie without the nod to, eating disorders.
Next episode, we are going to discuss It Takes Two. Is it the one with the Olsen twins or the other one?
Yeah, no, it's the Olsen twins.
Twins? Okay.
With, what's his name? Dang, I forgot his name, but I know it's Kirstie Alley. So that's all you need to know is Mary-Kate Ashley and Kirstie Alley.
They were pretty much our cohorts, they're our age, the twins, and
for sure.
They definitely had a freaking error. That's for sure. So yes, next time we will discuss It Takes Two.
Yay.
Thanks. Well, thanks for joining us for another episode, and we'll talk to you next time.
That's right. See you then. Take care.